Hey everyone, good morning. Happy Supercharge Manifesting Monday. Let's see, I want to see comments. So I'm going to wait for a couple of you to join us. But good morning again from Costa Rica. And as you can see, the life of my dreams sitting by the pool. It's been a rainy night and we lost Wi Fi and all kinds of fun. So I'm having to do this on my phone. But I have an amazing guest joining me, and fingers and toes crossed for both of us that this all works really well. So I'm waiting for a couple of you to join. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Tanya. Good morning. Mwah. So many of you said, I did a little video with this pool in the background asking if you wanted to come to Costa Rica with me in 2021 to do a deservingness retreat. And so many of you said yes, yes, yes. So I'm gonna give you some more. Those of you that have not yet said yes, why you would want to come. Like, who wouldn't want to hang out here all day long? I'm doing a like 3 hour spa day upstairs where you see those orange curtains today. That is my Christmas present to me, in addition to being here. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, those of you that you were like, yes, I want to come. That's me. I'm in. This is where we're going to be hanging out. And those of you that did not see that video and you're not sure what I'm talking about, you will be notified. Don't you worry. All right. So I want to jump in. We're going to talk about release. We're in the last Monday of the month and of the year. And I know there's a new moon. I forgot to look it up. I'm sorry. There's a full moon coming up in the next 2 days, I think, the 30th or the 31st, which is when we usually do our releasing. What do we need to release? So last week we chose our word of the year, right? Those of you that watched last week, you chose your word. And if you decided what your word was, I know it took me all day. I don't think I decided finally till like 7 or 8 p.m. that night. But if you chose your word, go ahead and type it. I'm really excited to see what you guys came up with. And remember to make it an adjective and not a verb, a way you want to feel and a way you want to be in 2021, not something you want to do, right? Because a lot of times we choose growth and expansion and transformation, and that's very doing energy. And doing, I'm so sorry to say, it's like doing is out. It is in the past. It's all about being from here on out. So choose a word that reflects the state of being that you want to embrace. And so, in alignment with that conversation, one of the things that I do when we start a new program is we have people go through a release process. Because you'll remember me saying last week, if you're choosing a word to, be your North Star, and forgive the macaws and the toucans and the howler monkeys. This is just paradise. That's what it sounds like. So just, embrace it. But oh my gosh, they're so distracting. So, yeah, if you were thinking about your word of the year and it was like, okay, so I'm on this journey called life, and every go around the sun, every year, it's like, what is a way that I want to embrace, that I want to become more remembering of who I really am, why I'm really here, right? This is, I said, this is a journey of remembering who we really are, because in life we tend to forget, we tend to embrace with the lower self. So this is about remembering who you are. And as you choose your word, or you've chosen your word for 2021, then the next thing is, what do I need to release? Because as you continue on the journey, one of the things that I know is it's also about becoming lighter. So as we age, we continue to pick up things and put on to our thoughts and our beingness and our way of doing. And we become so burdened and heavy, and that gets in the way of remembering who we really are. So and as important a part as important as it is to choose a word and your North Star, it's equally as important to consciously decide, what am I going to release? I like to say, let's journey light. So can you all type that? 2021, it's about journeying light. One second, my thing is choosing to do something. One second, guys. Okay, there we go. All right. So, as we continue, my word is alignment. I love it. So as we continue to look at how can we journey lighter, how can we make this easier for ourselves? This morning's conversation is around releasing, and I brought Carrie on. She's in Albania, by the way. So I'm in Costa Rica. She's on the total opposite side of the world in Albania. She actually had to tell me, like, geographically where that was. I'm like, I'm drawing a blank. I can't figure out where on the map that is. But this is the beauty of what we're able to do with technology, right? And Carrie is, I just have to tell you this little bit about Carrie. I met Carrie 7 years ago, I think, at one of our events. 6 or 7 years ago, Carrie, now?
I think 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So Carrie came to our event. She was an attorney at the time. So think, suit, serious, professional, like that kind of girl, all life planned out to the T. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And she comes to this event and we like open her up and give her permission to live the life of her dreams. She joins our program, and as she's in the program, she's like, my dream is to give this all up and travel the world. Right? So I want you to just honor, for most of us, we daydream about doing that, right? Traveling the world. But for a lawyer to go from being a lawyer to I want to travel the world and just show other people what it's like to live in bliss, that's a major leap, major. And so Carrie, did the program, and I'll never forget the next year, by the next year's event, she actually came to the event just to give us a hug, do a testimonial video, and say bye because she was on her way to the airport, heading on a plane to India, like one-way ticket, not sure what was going to happen next, where she was going to go from there. And that was 6 years ago. She still lives all over the world. She's still living her dream. She met her husband on the journey, which I think she was like, I'm done marriage. So that was part of what unfolded. And I just think, like I'm connecting the dots as I'm telling your story, Carrie, because it is such a, it's such a testimony of what I'm trying to say. Travel light, travel light. Like your willingness to just let go of all the trimmings and the things and the shoulds and the just be your true self allowed you to go travel the world and create your own version of your dream, and I think that's amazing. So it's even more cool that we get to talk to you about releasing and why it's so important as we go into, we come out of 2020, which was a year. Let's just all admit it was a year. Why it's more important than any other year to go through a process of releasing the things that came up this year and allow us to set ourselves up to really leverage all the opportunities. I kind of think of it as like the soil got tilled, right? Like our lives just got stirred up and the soil got tilled, but it might have felt uncomfortable and at points difficult and scary and all the things that come up in that situation. But what we are really left with is rich, fertile soil to plant the seed of what we want to manifest in the years to come. The question is, what do we need to take out before we put that seed in? So my friend, it's all up to you. Take it away. And by the way, Carrie has written a book, which she's going to talk about to help you on this journey of releasing. And some of the things that I asked her to share are kind of three. So, answer the question first and then like guide us through three important aspects that we need to look at in terms of releasing releasing 2020 and getting ready for 2021.
Yeah, sure. Well, first, thank you so much for having me here. I mean, how cool is it for me to be here with you? I just, I'm so excited for this. And I want to, about your community that you are creating. And one of the things that you said that really just struck out with me is that when I was in the process of, okay, being a lawyer doesn't serve me anymore. I don't know if it ever really did, but now I know I can't do it anymore. And you said it exactly right. You and Diane and the community like gave permission to like, it's okay to give this up. It's okay to dream, because it was very, very scary. And a lot of people are like, what are you doing? You can give it up for a month or two, maybe just, or try doing something else, but don't just give it up. So that permission to dream was such a huge thing. So thank you so much for that. And it's still with me today. And I'm still figuring it out, because now this is going to go back to what you were saying about release. Some of the things about releasing, we release what's not serving us, and that opens up a space to pick up new things that do serve us, which is nice. But sometimes in between the release and the picking up is uncertainty. And that can get a little scary at times. And this leads me into one of the questions that you had emailed me before is like, can you say a few words about having a process? And this is where I think having a process comes in. In that time of uncertainty, you know you need to release something, and you're open to picking up new stuff. In that middle, when it's uncertain, a little unsettled, if you have a process, it pulls you through. It keeps you moving forward, even if you're not sure where you're ending up. I mean, like how you said, Tasha, when I left, I had plans for India for 3 weeks in Thailand at a volunteer center. And when I say this to people, they say, oh, people think you were a lawyer, you had lots of money in savings at the time. Well, there were other life stuff that had happened. I lost my savings. I had a total of $10,000 to my name. That's it. That's savings, everything. And part of when I left was holding, you know how you said you were testing living a certain way in a book when you first started the Science of Getting Rich Academy? Well, I'm like, I'm going to test you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm going to test you guys and do
you
this.
Were testing us. Like, what they talk about? Is this thing for real? Is it for real? For real? I'm going to test it.
I'm going to test it.
To my name. I'm going to go. I think when you left, you only thought you were going to do it for a year.
Yeah, right? I only thought a year. But I also left with, I'm going to let it unfold. Unlike everything else I've done in my life, I'm not going to plan it all the way. I did a vision board, and I said, how do I want to feel? What are some of the things I want to do? And then I just jumped in and with the flow and talk about and like testing with terms of like with the evidence and stuff. So I went to India and then Thailand, and then Singapore. I visited with some friends, and then after Singapore, I didn't know where I was going to go. A friend that I had met in Thailand said, Carrie, who lives in Sri Lanka. She's like, I'm going through a divorce right now. I know you just went through one. Could you come to Sri Lanka and stay with me to provide some support for me? And I like, sure. So I ended up being in Sri Lanka for like 2 months. And then also in Thailand, which was wonderful to be, but that friendship, our friendship grew because of it. And it was also a very beautiful space for me to just be. And then I went to Tibet. Also, people who I had met in Thailand were Tibetan. And I'm like, I'm so close in this part of the world, So they hosted me in Tibet for a while. And then I ended up in England, and I always wanted to go to an eco-village called Findhorn in Scotland. But this is, okay, so the long story here. So it took a while to get there. I'm out of money. It's like a Wednesday. I have my accommodation for Thursday and Friday, and then I have $40 to my name, and that's it. And so I said, okay, I can panic or write a little intention, right? And then done the intention of a client of mine, because I still do some legal work remotely, and it always comes right when I need it. A client messaged me, Carrie, I need to get a contract done right away. Can you get on this today? And I said, sure. I got on it today, and that gave me enough money for another week. And so things like that just unfolded. So I guess
that's amazing.
Boy, that's a long-winded process of talking about the importance of having a process, because what pulled me through in that times of uncertainty was going through some of the processes that you had taught me, some other, like I've seen, other personal development work have taught me. Do my journaling, do my meditation, do those things in that time of uncertainty. And so when we're talking about releasing and releasing 2020, there's a lot. Like, I was talking with my sister the other day, and I said, you know, for me, in some ways, it feels like my life hasn't been affected because I'm a digital nomad. My husband and I go from place, so we don't see our families that often anyway. So how has it been different from us? But I still felt down. I felt down that day. And she's like, Carrie, there's a lot of energy out there. Even if you don't think it's affecting you, it is. And so I think there's a lot for us to really think about. Think about and feeling. We need to feel, but sometimes we have to do the work in an easy and relaxed way, do the process to get to a deeper and authentic, a fully feeling release, so that it is a complete release. And then that opens the space to pick up. And so that's what I think having a process
So that
for releasing is.
what are 3
You just paused.
Right.
So I think you say, like, tell 3
So,
things to release
like
from
for me,
2020.
I know being here, I was very intentional about this trip. Like this trip, I'm probably delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
So
Okay.
Carrie, I am probably delayed for you. I'm probably like it you I'm probably delayed in you hearing me. But what I want to say is coming on this trip at okay, you're still delayed. Go for it.
Okay. So I think you're saying 3 things that we can release, what we should release for like 2020. For each of us, it'll be different, but one of the things that, so you said I created this book.
So guys, those of you watching, just be a little.
It's a journal workbook called Being in 2020, releasing what it was like to be in 2020 and resetting into 2021. And it includes list prompts to get you thinking of what was it like to be in 2020. And so the process in the book is the journal starts with I'm grateful for, because let's get our grounding place. Like right now, what am I grateful for? And it ends with words that complete this sentence. I am. That's the beginning and that's the end. In the middle is a series of lists to help you dig deeper. Like one of the 3s that I think are important is the releasing list, just your venting list. Things that without thinking, without editing, without judging, and we feel like we don't want to complain. Complain in your journal. Get it out, right? Because if we get it out on the paper in the journal, then we release it from ourselves, right? And so the journal has the list prompts, short answers, just to write, release without thinking, without editing. But then it also has space for when you get done with it, if something really jumped out at you, for journaling about it. And then on the flip side, one that I think is important is resilience building. Look back at the year and look at, the journal also goes through traumas, triggers, sleepless nights, and you can list those. And then after that is a resilience building. Look back at the year and think of times that you felt like you couldn't take it anymore, but you did. You felt like you didn't have energy to do something, but you found it within you and you got it completed. You did it. Those are things that show us how strong we are, and taking the moment to acknowledge that, list it, write it, celebrate it. And so I think those are 2 of my favorite lists in the book. And I think we just got delayed. Can you hear me, Tasha? I'm not sure.
We're still here. Can you hear me, Carrie?
Now
We're still here.
okay. We got,
I can. Yes, I can. You and you are breaking up a little bit in and out. So you want to tell us the third one?
yeah.
So, guys, this is one of the things. You can travel the world and work anywhere, but sometimes Wi-Fi. Carrie, you can go ahead. Oh, now you're totally frozen, I think. All right, guys. So while we're waiting for Carrie to come back, here is something I want you guys to do.
There we are.
If you are watching, and yeah, hopefully Carrie can see the comments. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I can't see who typed that, but someone just said keep talking, Carrie. So thank you for letting her know. If you guys are watching, while we're waiting for Carrie to come back, comment. Hang on a second. Go ahead. Let me get it up here. One quick second. Go ahead and type the word intention. There we go. Go ahead and type the word intention in the comments, and we will get you registered for the 2021 intention setting call this Wednesday at 12 Eastern. So it's going to be on Facebook Live, but if you want to know where we're going live and all that good stuff, it's going to be just go ahead and type that. You'll get a message in Messenger from me that will give you the link to register and get the reminders. All right. And if not, this Wednesday, 12 Eastern, we're going to do our intentions together for 2021. All right, Carrie, are you back live? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was thinking about this morning while we wait for Carrie.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
When we talk about releasing, I think that for me, my first thought this morning was, I want to release all limiting beliefs. And it was like this big general statement. And I started to think about that some more. And I was like, no, I can't be that. I had to look back at 2020 and really harness the lessons of 2020 and determine what was it that it was trying to tell me it's now time to release. And so for me, it wasn't, oh, I just want to live. I need to consciously choose with the manifesting process. All the parts of me that sometimes get impatient with the manifesting process, I am choosing to release that. I'm choosing to release the parts of me that become doubtful of my ability to manifest my desires. I'm choosing to release. I might not get to all of it because I'm still a human being, but I'm consciously choosing to release, the parts of me that stay stuck there in doubt. I'm choosing to release the parts of me that identify with the old programming and patterns that keep my desires from manifesting. So there are parts of me that just is so aligned to the old me, to the old programs, the old behaviors, the old patterns. And when I'm aligned to that, I allow those parts of me to play out, and it keeps my desires further away. It makes the manifesting not as easy. It makes the journey longer or harder. And so I'm consciously choosing to look at the lessons I learned from 2020 and determine what were they telling me I need to again and can hear us. But really just look at making a list with this new moon and being as specific as you can be looking back at 2020, what were the lessons and what do you need to release? And then, Carrie has a great book on Amazon. It's, I'm pretty sure she shared the title. So if you just want to go to Amazon and search for Carrie Riley by her name, I'm sure the book will come up. I think it's called Being Being in 2020. Carrie, can you hear me? Are we live
Yes,
again?
I can. Yep, I think we're
Awesome.
live.
What
It's
is the
called,
name of the book, Carrie?
the full name is Being in 2020, Releasing What It Was Like to Be in 2020 and Resetting into 2021 and Beyond. If you go to Amazon and you just do a search, Being in 2020, and my name, Carrie Raleigh, you'll find it. It has, and in the comments, I'll send a little
Awesome.
picture of it so people can see what it looks like. But thank you. And I think this, with the
All right.
list
So
prompts in the journal and workbook, it'll help people go through the things that you are talking about to get specific on what you want to release, get specific on the lessons that you learn and the things to pick up. It goes through those different categories.
awesome. All right. Well, is there anything else that you did not get a chance to say that you want to leave us with some wisdom this morning?
Oh, wisdom. Yes, I think everyone here who's in your group are committed to being authentic and in integrity with themselves. And I just want to honor and cherish that, because for no reason other than it's awesome in itself. But when we are authentic and we're fully being in ourselves, that's where we meet each other in our humanity. And so much love and light expands from there. So for all of us and for all our being, let's just see the love and light expand into 2021 and beyond.
Yes, yes, yes. I think, gosh, if this year has taught me anything, and as I observe the people in our community and in our family and how you're all expressing yourselves and showing up even more, I think authenticity is truly the best way to describe it. Like, we are being more real in our expression of love for ourselves and for each other than I think we've ever been on this planet. And if that's what we got from all this, that would be an incredible gift to humanity, right? So thank you, Carrie, for acknowledging, what you see happening here in this space, in our family. And I want to echo that and say, you guys, you're just amazing. You rock. And Diane and I like pinch ourselves every day that this is what we get to do, is to be in service to people like you. So, mwah. All right, here we go. So thank you guys for being on. Esther says, so lovely put, Carrie. So much. And thank you for your time. So you guys send Carrie some love. I really encourage you, those of you, I know there's a lot of unearthing to do about 2020. You do not want to bring it into 2021. Trust me, travel light. Remember, travel light. As much as we're here to remember who we really are, part of the remembering process is shedding the things that get in the way of us remembering. But we can't it's not just like, oh, I'm on this journey and I'm going to get there. It's kind of like, what are the things that burden me so that it takes me a longer time to get to the end result, to get to the desire, to get to the state of bliss. There are things, and it's not just to become aware of them, it's also to use your free will and your power of choice to say, okay, I'm letting that go. I'm leaving that behind, leaving that here, and carrying on. All right. So, thank you guys. Have a great last Monday of the year, and see you Wednesday at 12 Eastern. Together, we're going to set our intentions for 2021. Carrie, I'm so grateful you were able to make the time for this. Thank
you.
And by the way, just because I'm curious, where are you off to next? Do you know yet? So 6 years of doing this.
Right now, we're kind of in a place. We're going to stay here for at least through August, possibly more. My husband actually got a job teaching at an international school here. So, and this is like one of the things, but this is where we wanted to be at the beginning of, after traveling and stuff, at the end of last year, we're like, we want to find a place to settle, have a home base where we could start saving money. We had planned on going to China. We had jobs waiting for us to do that, right? And then I
Yeah.
was supposed to go to China in the middle of February. And obviously that got canceled and we didn't know where we were going to end up. And we ended up here after, I think we were here for 2 weeks and my husband got a job here that gives us that stability and settle, where we could get settled a bit. Isn't that amazing?
So here's
I
something
just think
really
it's
funny,
amazing.
and I know we're going on, but I want you guys to just hear this. I literally remember I was on a tour with Diane, my daughter, and my daughter's best friend in Spain. I remember exactly where I was. You and I were emailing or Facebook messaging or something back and forth. So this was not this past summer, right? It was the summer of 2018, maybe?
Yeah.
Summer of 2018, I went to Spain. That was part of one of the countries I went to that year. But we were traveling and you were telling me this exact desire, that you guys were looking for a place, you were trying to find which country you could settle in. You had your exact budget amount that you wanted to live off of and like have a little place and maybe include a retreat space. I like right? I remember that. And so it's like we can look at 2020 and go, oh my gosh, all these crazy things happened. But part of what happened was it led you to that desire manifesting.
Yeah.
You might have never thought it would be Albania,
No,
but here
it
you are,
is, and it's
right?
allowing it to unfold further. Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool.
Isn't that amazing? My memory is like,
Yeah, I remember
it
that.
serves me very well.
I remember that because our actual like dream where we're thinking of is Spain for like long term because we love the weather there, everything's there. We never
Maybe
knew.
that's
I
why
honestly didn't even.
I was in Spain.
Yeah, and I didn't. You said you didn't know where Albania was at the beginning. I didn't know where it was. How we ended up here was my husband's a UK citizen. I'm a US citizen. My visa expired in the UK. We had to leave the UK. With things as they are with the US, with the COVID increasing there, and he can only be there for 3 months. And if we go there for 3 months, we might have travel restrictions later on. So we're like, where do we go? And at that time, only 3 places were allowing US citizens: Syria, Turkey, and Albania. So we chose Albania. I looked it up on a map, and I'm like, that sounds fine. And here we are. So, and it's unfolding nicely here.
Who wants to live like that? I'm telling you what, Carrie. You are living the dream, my friend. Mwah! I love it.